Hi everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day. I wanted to stop in and share with you all two of the new dyes that have been released by Tim Holtz today. These are part of his latest release with Sizzix, and I was able to get my hands on a couple of those. Thank you scrapbook.com for that. Early to play with, so I just wanted to come and share with you all those two dyes as well as a couple projects to go along with them. All right, so let's have a look at two of the new dyes in the release. So first up, we have the Festive Bouquet. This includes 6 dyes. It's pretty simple to put together. There are some small pieces that you can paper piece in place, but depending on what you're making and your techniques and how you craft, you may not have to use them. But I will say, just from my experience, be sure that you keep up with all of these little pieces when you die cut them out if you definitely plan on using them. A gorgeous, gorgeous dye. So again, that's Festive Bouquet. Then we have Paper Village number 2. The first one previously came out, so this is an extension of that. So you can make paper villages for Christmas. And I actually made a haunted house. So here is my haunted house memory decks card that I created. I used the Paper Village 2. I used some black cardstock from this Christmas pad that I have from scrapbook.com. I also inked it up with my Distress Oxide inks and, layered it up. Tried to make it a little spooky. I used a Tim Holtz stencil here. I also placed a piece of paper inside to create this lit effect, and I used some mustard seed stain to achieve this color. Over here for the tree, I actually used an older die from Tim Holtz, and it is the Funky Floral Large. So I used this to create a tree. I just layered it up in different directions using some foam tape. And then using scraps of this black cardstock, I was able to create a funky fence that I also inked up with some picket fence and pumice stone Distress Oxides. For the moon, I just used my roll of mint tape and used the inner circle to kind of guide me and use that as a stencil. And I just added some gesso there to create the moon. But yes, here is that memory decks card. I have, again, the mustard seed stain up top, and then I added some ripe persimmon. I have the dusty Concord, and then I have black soot down here at the bottom. To give texture to the roof of the house, I actually used some hot glue and then went over it with a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen in black, just to add a little bit more depth to the roof and some more texture. So this, I absolutely love how this turned out. Super simple. You can add a sentiment. You can go back in and you can add a bat or whatever you desire. But this is how I chose to use those little houses in the village. I think they are perfect for making a 3D memory decks card. Another way that I used it is I created a castle. Now this is not perfect. It's actually for my daughter, but I thought this would be a nice little way to have fun with her and create something. So here is my castle. I just used some white cardstock and then used the Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide. I then used a dauber and the Pops of Color here by scrapbook.com to add some texture and the glitter effect on the outside. I used some buttons from Buttons Galore, and I also inked up this light gray page. These are actually scraps. I used some Distress Oxides on that, as well as the Pop of Color, just to give some dimension. For the roof, I just used different Ranger embossing powders. I actually mixed 2 together to create this texture. But yes, guys, again, the possibilities are endless. I even did a little drawbridge. I plan to make a full-on castle and village scene for my daughter to have. So I'll just place that over there. All right, so back to this Festive Bouquet die. With that die, I was able to create this beautiful card. I used many of my Distress Oxides for this. Again, everything will be linked down below. I also added a few sequins here and there. This gray cardstock also comes from this Christmas pad. And I popped up this Merry Sentiment, which is a scrapbook.com die. But this is definitely an example of how intricate those little pieces are and how you should keep up with them if you plan on using them. So they definitely add the extra dimension that you would like to see, and they work so well with those Distress Oxides. I think this card is stunning. So there we have that. And then my last little project is this pocket. So again, I'm using an older die from Tim Holtz. This is the Stitched Slots die. So I inked up the flowers and all of the stems and laid them out to create a pattern piece of paper. And I then die cut it with that die to create this pocket. I just added another piece of white cardstock behind it, but you can stick things inside. So my idea for this was to add money, because it says make a wish. So you can add money or a gift card inside. I did leave all the slots open, but I wanted to also add in a few of the full flowers to just show their beauty. So for these sprigs, I actually used this lighter green cardstock from this paper pad. However, all of the other ones that are adhered are all blended with Distress Oxides. And then as a simple sentiment, I just used a Make a Wish small talk sticker. And there you have it. So again, please head over to scrapbook.com as well as Tim Holtz channel to watch his replay, if you have not already seen it, of all of his new dies in this release. There are plenty more for you to check out, but these are just a few that I had to share with you all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.